contend that humanity is free of control is completely inaccurate. We are controlled in every moment of our lives. Unless we follow the routes of Camus or Nietzsche, there is no such thing as freedom. Every action, every exchanged word, every thought in some form or another is controlled. When considering paranoia, oftentimes one forgets that most centrally, paranoia is a form of control. It is a form of control over an individual. The suspicions, the delusions of persecution, the unwarranted jealousy, the exaggerated self-importance, paranoia itself controls those under its ruse. To discuss paranoia without acknowledging that it is a manipulation of power over an individual is to completely misunderstand paranoia. So, now when we think of paranoia, we think of control. However, if we think of control as only arising from paranoia, again we commit a large misunderstanding. Control can be seen everywhere. Control, which can be understood as a manipulation of another, pervades all ecosystems of life. This spider, Plesiometa agria, is an expert builder of perfectly round webs, but with one sting, a parasitic wasp can take over its mind. The wasp deposits its larva inside the spider's body, along with a new blueprint. Instead of building its web, the spider spends the last night of its life constructing a silk cocoon which becomes a home for its killers. When the silk sac is done, the larvae kill the spider. Then they take up residence in the cocoon, suspended safely above the predators of the rainforest floor. Interestingly, prior to the sting, the spider has no precedent behavior of building such a nest. It is thereby through this sting and the parasites contained within the venom that control the spider to build differently than ever before.
In the French Polynesian islands, jewel wasps and cockroaches take part in a bizarre ritual. A female jewel wasp stings a cockroach, injecting venom right into the cockroach's brain. The cockroach becomes partially paralyzed and loses the will and ability to get away. The wasp takes advantage of the zombie cockroach, pulling it by its antenna and taking it captive in her burrow. Then she lays an egg on the cockroach's abdomen. Over a period of 8 days, the zombie cockroach is fed to the wasp's young. The larva hatches, chews a hole into the cockroach's belly, and slowly eats it from the inside out. The well-fed baby wasp leaves the roach carcass behind and ventures into the world.
Furthermore, when understanding Jerry's character from the feature film Conspiracy Theory, we can see that his paranoia acts as a mechanism of control. His paranoia that there are black silent helicopters or that fluoride in toothpaste is a means of destroying human will control his actions. The French existentialist Albert Camus asserts in his Myth of Sisyphus that what a man believes to be true must determine his actions. His belief must dictate his action. As with the case of Jerry, what he believes to be true, that of the conspiracy theory, is what dictates his actions. He reads The Catcher in the Rye, booby traps his front door, even avoids toothpaste because this is what he believes to be true. Additionally, Sigmund Freud's The Schreber case serves to elicit this example of how paranoia controls. Judge Schreber is controlled by his paranoia. He has a paranoia of homosexuality. What he has not yet come to realize is that his paranoia stems from that which he is himself, a homosexual. His sexual proclivities extend themselves into his dreams, whereupon he imagines himself being sexually submitted by his doctor, Dr. Fleshzig. What is most interesting is that his paranoia then turns his love and rather sexual desire for the doctor into manifestations of persecution and severe suspicion of the doctor. His paranoia thereby controls him. While he once desired his doctor, the mental disorder that has manifested through his suppressed homosexuality has rather become a paranoia that controls him into believing and acting otherwise. So, again, through this example, we can see that Schreber's paranoia controls him. He is so controlled by his paranoia that he can no longer recognize himself. Therefore, recognizing that control is not limited to humanity is essential to understanding that control manifests itself in nearly every sphere of the living world, from humanity to insect life. Regardless of paranoia, control is everywhere. Michel Foucault argues in his Discipline and Punish that everywhere mankind is disciplined and controlled into behaving and acting in a certain way, we are more or less disciplined to live. Through normalizing judgment or the gaze of others, we are controlled. We are created and we are conditioned. Whether through our governments, Paranoia, institutions of education, religion, surveillance, mass media and culture are our own societies, human free will is controlled. Consequently, all that remains is a necessary question. Who or what controls you?